and I just need to now hopefully pull this and everything should be set. There we go. So, and as you can see, that's how much it's come out now with the new chain compared to the old one. So I'm just going to rotate the engine a few times, make sure everything seems fine. It's not going to want to jump a tooth or anything like that, and we're good to start putting it back together. So, also, when did Mitsubishi give you a skipping rope for a serpentine belt? It literally must be 2 metre in length, like circumference. But yeah. Oh, also another thing, when you're taking a load of bolts off, like you have to do for this, it's good to keep track of where you've took from bolts. The rocker covers not so much, because they're all pretty much, I believe, all the same size and same type bolts. But obviously your timing cover, it was all different. So what I tend to do is get a few pieces of paper or a piece of card, pop a load of holes in, and then just kind of keep track of positioning on where you've thingied, so they translate to that, obviously. And I did the same thing for the timing cover, which is down there. It makes it easier. It's super simple. It doesn't really cost anything, bar a couple of pieces of paper, so it's just thinged. It's just good to do it that way. I found, obviously, as you can see, I'm pretty much finishing up, just getting the bolts on. I've got all the engine mount on now. Tricky thing is with getting the bracket that holds the engine mount that attaches to the engine, getting that off is a pain in the backside. Are they 16 or 14 mil? I think they're 14 mil spanners, or is it 16? 16 or 14, I think it might be a 14. But what I tend to do is just do it from the bottom two, well, including that small one, but you can get that off with a small ratchet. But you can't get the ratchet in for the others. So if you actually come from underneath and then put one spanner on, ring spanner, and then extend it with another ring spanner, like kind of linked in together, you can kind of get more leverage on it. A bit like what you have to do for the spring, the tensioner. It just makes it so much easier. And then obviously, because they are on super hard, I was pretty much pushing myself across the ground trying to get them off. But they originally budged eventually, which was nice. The only one I broke was this one here, which just holds the little bracket that holds your water bottle on. But I'm probably just going to re-drill it and probably. Right, so day 3. Timing chain's already done. Got all that sorted. I've checked for any oil leaks as well. Took it for a bit of a drive. Got it up to temperature. Everything seems fine. Obviously. Right then, silly old me. Once I finished filming after all the service and everything else, I forgot to do an outro. So, everything's serviced now. I'll give you a rundown. Engine serviced, new oils, new filters, well, new oil filter, stuff like that. I've also put my intake on now, so that is ready. I've had no issues with it so far. The car still runs perfectly fine. So obviously it's not changing any of the characteristics that ECU's been able to change automatically on airflow, stuff like that, because obviously you do change the MAF housing, although it's the same diameter, so it shouldn't have affected any of them tables anyway. But still, everything's all done on that. Basically needs a wash, but other than that it should be good. But yeah, I'm going to get back to starting modifying it more. Obviously I've done my wheels and also my intake. The one thing that I'm looking for now is currently a sports cap for it, because the one that you get with them standard, I believe, is a 2.75 inch, so obviously it's slightly restricted. So I'm going to get the same, I believe it's the same cell. I think there's 200 cells from the factory, I'm not sure. There could be 400, I'm not entirely sure. But I'm looking for a 200 cell 3-inch sort of pipe instead. So obviously that will free up some ponies there and allow it to breathe a bit easier, as well as obviously I've done my intake, so obviously they should compare. Then it'll be time for mapping. So I'll be taking it to Simon Norton. Everyone in the Evo community pretty much knows who he is. He's up near Sheffield. But yeah, he's the kind of king when it comes to mapping these. He does it by like a road going, so he'll do all the sensors and all the bits and bobs, and then we'll take it out for a drive, and he'll do some wide open throttle stuff like that after putting a basic map on and stuff like that. I believe I'll have to bench mine, bench my ECU, due to the fact that it is locked still, because I am still locked to 120 miles per hour. Not that I've ever been that fast with the ECU, because it's still got the JDM limiter on it from Japan, which I don't know why, but strange. But excuse me. So yeah, once all that's sorted, get a stage 1 map. I'm hoping to get with the intake and obviously the better cat, sports cat. I'm hoping to get a good probably 380 brake. So obviously it'll be a nice increase from what the stock of these are, as well as it'll have a bit more meat up the topper end, because they tend to fall off then, because obviously they don't want them quicker than the 360s and the 400s sort of thing. So they tend to have a nice peak up around the 4K-ish mark, but then it tends to like fall off the actual boost range and stuff like that, which brings the torque down and stuff like that. So that's why they feel and are a lot like slower than the 360s and the higher models. So, but yeah, they should all tune to about the same. So I'm hoping to get about 380. So is the gearbox. I just did a reteaching today because obviously I've serviced the I've serviced the SST transmission gearbox, and obviously it's usually advisable to do a reteach when you do them, due to the fact that obviously the clutch packs wear out and spec of what the gearbox has learned so far. So it's good idea to do them. I was getting a bit of a sloppy sort of gear change when I was on low boost, sort of like under the 3K mark, sort of changing gear. But obviously when you go, there's two like modes. There's like a low pressure mode, and then there's a higher pressure mode. So when you're at like 4K and above and you're like wide open throttle, that's when it usually works the high pressure mode, where it rapidly changes the gear a little bit more aggressively. So especially when you're getting up in super sport, so it's nice. But yeah, so there it is. Obviously another one done, all serviced. The old gal's ready to get some extra power. So I probably will pick up the video again once I've sorted out what sports cat I'm going to go. I've got a couple in mind, but once I've got them, I'll probably do a quick video of swapping them out, whatnot, and stuff like that, and any other modifications I'm going to be coming with them. So, but hopefully the summer's starting to come now, so hopefully I'll be getting a lot more videos out in the summer, because it's a lot easier to do it that way. Nearly ready for the tune, and obviously hopefully a couple of track days as well, some full track days like Silverstone, Donington kind of things, because I do like them tracks. I've been on before. So yeah, so if you haven't already, remember to leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that, because it helps my channel, and it brings basically more, and it gives me more inspiration, and I'm just here to vlog and video my kind of the direction of what I'm doing with my car, and obviously bring you guys along. So hope you like the video, like again, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.